The context for 721 is that when you have an area, like a big area that's like boxed in because of history, like there is the rail corridor which used to be KTM, which causes this entire area to be, boxed in. It becomes really hard to send bus routes inside. And when you actually do send bus routes inside, like 91, 191, even 92, a lot of them they tend to end up being kind of hub spoke. It's more or less the same thing with NUS, which is served by like 95 and 96, and 151. But 151 it doesn't go deep inside NUS anyway, so yeah, I'm not really gonna count that. But then the more I talked about, the more I think of 721, the more I feel that it is important to make a video like describing the differences between premium bus routes and city direct bus routes. So first up, I do not know 721's official route, but it is supposed to call the bus stop outside this area. Not this side, but this side. So it's gonna go AYE, Buena Vista flyover, and then Science Park Drive. Basically, it'll use this area to go one round so that it can access this bus stop. Or alternatively, you could just go straight and then kind of like make a U-turn. Not really a U-turn, but you get the idea. Just wrap around to access this bus stop. And then after that, the next bus stop, if I'm not mistaken, is at Portsdown Road. I think it's here. And then the final one is at, you see this, the Metropolis, right? Oh my god, I cannot speak today. So the bus bay outside MOE, which is MOE building, which is the bus bay that's in, like the bus bay is for private buses. It's in front of the bus bay that's for public buses over here. And then it's along the southbound side of the road. So based on what I experienced today, the bus has to use North Buena Vista Road, Ayaraja Avenue, Crescent, Portsdown Road, and then it has to wrap around using like Dover Close East, and then kind of make an awkward loop inside, out to Commonwealth Avenue, and then like this. The reason why 721 is even like that in the first place is because they want doorstep connections, which is something that CDS doesn't really offer like to that extent. So the doorstep refers to like this one, and this one. Keep in mind this one is a private bus, so the last stop or the first stop, it has to be at the private bus bay. Like you cannot just make it call at the public bus bay, because it is after all a private bus, not a public one. I mean, it's for the public, but you get the idea. It's not operated by public transport operators. And this is quite self-explanatory, but the more doorstep a bus service, be it public or private, becomes, the more the route has to, the more you have to do really stupid things with the route to call specific stops. And yes, both directions, 721 serves like the same stops. I have no intentions to take the PM trip. I think some other enthusiasts would have probably taken the PM trip by now. So maybe they would know the PM trip's route. But I would assume it's a lot more simple, because all you have to do is just go here, One North Gateway, Portsdown Road, and then just do the same loop, call this bus stop, and then make your way back to Tengah, and Brickland. And as I mentioned before, the reason why 721 ends up having such a weird route is because of how boxed in this entire area is. It's bounded by Commonwealth Avenue, the former train track, as well as AYE. So when you have areas that are like boxed in like that, an expressway and KTM, I mean the former KTM track, well, all the roads they tend to just end abruptly, and there is no like proper connections. Like the only connections there are the one that's like the one that exits out to I think it's a left in left out at Commonwealth Avenue, which which is to the south of Holland Avenue, I think. Then there's another one here. The downside is that you cannot do this. You can only do this. So there's like one exit, two exits, and then the other exits are located along North Buena Vista Road, which isn't really where 721 wants to go. And basically all these things they limit the kind of route that 721 can take, which in turn leads to 721 being stupidly windy. Because I think LTA, both LTA and Leisure Frontier, both of them have equal responsibility in planning the route, I would say. Like a back and forth discussion, like a proposal, counter proposal, and stuff like that. So yes, a lot of bus enthusiasts, they might see this and then they go like, oh my gosh, this bus route is so windy, it's so useless. Okay, but right now I'm here to explain that there is a reason why it winds. But I also agree that 721 in its current state is way too windy. Because like I just don't understand why you have to call outside the bus stop along Buena Vista flyover. It's like there is one lane and then there is another lane and then the bus stop is along the right lane and not the left lane. And if you're not familiar with this area, like instinctively you would think that the bus stop is actually on the left lane, whereas it's actually on the right lane. This is something like Dhoby Ghaut, Coleman Street. Yeah. This one is just asking for trouble. And I was like thinking, why do you put the bus stop so close to the expressway? When literally you could just make it call inside Science Park Drive and possibly serve more places because it's like actually inside. I don't know if this is like the back exit or like the main entrance or whatever, but like if you use Science Park Drive, you can literally just copy 92, just U-turn like this. So I really don't understand why it has to call this bus stop. Like, oops, sorry. That was my thumbnail. This bus stop I can understand because it's the bus bay. The first stop and the last stop, like it makes sense why you would call this. Like, even though the looping is quite stupid, it based on the road network, this is already the best like you could do. So this one I can understand. This one is okay. This one just makes like no sense to me. And then when you look at CBD, this is not talking about 721 anymore, but more of like premiums in general. You see the premium buses going inside Lim Teck King Road, Tanjong Pagar Road, Gopeng Street. I might have butchered that pronunciation. I am sorry. And then they might use like Wallich Street, Pixia Street, Wallich Street, Tras Street. I don't know, but it's like what's that? I think it was like 565 goes inside here, this area. 722 also goes inside this area, and then 565 even goes inside Julia Street and Phillip Street. So yes, premiums they tend to be more doorstep. Like if there is like an opportunity to make the bus more doorstep, the premium bus operators or even LTA, depending on who actually comes up with the final route, like they discuss and who comes up with the final route, the premiums can actually afford to be more doorstep and windy. Whereas the CDS, they have to stay outside because they are like public buses. Because anyway, I'm just showing this like as a form of comparison. This one, it's like Yishun Ring Road, Yishun Avenue, what you call that? 9, 6, and then 7. This one doesn't really wind a lot. This thing, it goes into Street 50. Wait, it was like 52 and then 53, and then it goes around to Ang Mo Kio Avenue 6, 9, 4, and then 5. So this one doesn't really wind a lot. This one goes inside Dover and then Clementi Avenue 4. Doesn't wind a lot. This one stays outside on the main road. 665. It goes into wherever 903 serves, so it's not windy at all. 663, the route is pretty straightforward. It's like just Yishun Ring Road, Street 31, and Avenue 6. Pretty straightforward. This one has like some degree of winding. Not a lot, but it's like Drive 1, Street 11, Drive 6, Drive 3. Again, not really a lot of winding. This 660, at most you could argue that it goes Hougang Street 91 and 93, but doesn't really wind a lot. This one goes along the main road. This one also pretty much uses the main road, except the road outside the mosque at Sembawang. I forgot the road name, but this one doesn't wind a lot. This one is straightforward. This one is also very straightforward. This one doesn't even wind a lot. It just goes in a circle, like Hillview, Hume, Upper Bukit Timah Road, and then Hillview Road, and then Avenue again. Not a whole lot of like winding. This one doesn't even wind at all. This one serves the main roads. The only thing that actually winds is probably this one, because no other bus service actually. Anyway, I'm describing all of them so that you guys get a clearer picture of what I'm talking about. It is the only bus that actually uses Jurong West Street 74 under normal circumstances. And the reason why it does this is because it's gonna call outside Gate Post Shopping Center and then the future MRT station as well. So 651, instead of calling these stops, the potential is actually here. All the amenities are here. So it actually goes inside Street 74. So I would say that 651 is kind of like the only one that can even barely resemble a premium bus service, so to say. Unless you're saying 91 and 93 is like more or less the same thing, but I would say this one has a greater degree of like a premium bus service like winding. Then there's also the newer, not the newer, but then this one, I cannot really say this one winds. This one for a CDS actually kind of winds, but not really. It's like Hougang Avenue 7, 5, and then Upper Serangoon Road, Hougang Avenue 8, and then it goes inside Street 52, 51, Buangkok Green Avenue 4, and then Street 51 again. It does this thing. But I wouldn't really consider this like winding or anything, so not really. Then this thing doesn't really wind. This one is straightforward. This one doesn't even wind at all. This one is straightforward, and then this one is straightforward. And then the new Pongo CDS, I don't know how the residential sector is going to look like, but then it's supposed to resemble 14E, just that it goes to Pongo instead of Bedok. So that is a new City Shopper revival concept that's going to be coming out on, that's going to, as in the bus is going to run on weekdays, not weekends, unfortunately, for the time being. I don't know whether in future they would actually extend it to operate on weekends as well, make it like a true city shopper. But yeah. And the only, okay, so 651 and 673 are the CDSs that technically wind the most. And then 673 is quite obvious. It's because it goes inside. I mean, it literally goes inside and then goes to. I almost forgot this. I keep confusing this one and LCS too. The final stop. But okay. 673 actually goes inside and winds. But yeah. And let me show you one of the most popular and successful premiums out there right now. The first trip, literally like one passenger got stranded because the entire bus was full. And then 736, it used to run like straight along Avenue 9, but later got amended inside Tampines North. So the route, if I'm not mistaken, is like Avenue 9. I forgot which bus stop it starts from. But then it actually goes inside Tampines North, which is like legit stonks. And then it goes outside Avenue 6, Avenue 9. Then it goes inside this street, Street 71. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it was like Avenue 8, and then goes like this, like this. And then by the time the bus actually reaches somewhere around here, the bus gets choked full. And by the way, 736 right now is only unidirectional, so yeah. And the thing is that a CDS just wouldn't wind like this. This kind of winding only really applies to premium services. And it's not just like the city sector, even the residential sectors, they really tend to wind a lot. Not every single one of them, but it's like there are some examples of like premium bus services that they just wind and wind and wind. But the main purpose of me doing this video, showing you the comparison between CDS and premium, is that I'm trying to like justify the reasons why 721 even winds in the first place, but at the same time acknowledge that at its current state it's way too windy. So it starts at Choa Chu Kang Brickland Road, and then it goes Bukit Batok Road. I actually kind of forgot the route already. Oh no. Then it goes inside like, oh my gosh, behave. Then it goes inside Tengah Drive. Oh dear, I kind of forgot the route. I think it's like that. Then it makes a left turn. Okay, what I remember was like it goes back in again, then it turns right, then it does a roundabout, and then, so it's like it does this, and then it goes along Tengah Boulevard, and then exits via PIE. So there is a lot of winding going on around here. Wait, no, I drew it wrong. Okay, it's actually like this, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my god, this is actually quite terrible. Then it, something along these lines. So the main purpose of why it even winds like that in the first place is they just want to cover the entire Tengah like how it currently is. Reason why it does that? It's a premium bus service. They are allowed to just wind and wind and wind and wind and wind. Yes, this sector is straight. That's fine. That's okay. But then this sector has to wind. They just want maximum coverage out of like Tengah. So because it's a premium, it's allowed to wind. That's a simple explanation. I know when I say this, a lot of bus enthusiasts are not going to be happy, but really this is the explanation. I know right now the demand is like not that good, but the whole intention of making 721, the whole intention of like routing 721 this way is they just want maximum coverage at the expense of being really, really windy. And that's also kind of because Tengah hasn't really developed yet, so there's only so much you can do. And sometimes I kind of think this kind of winding, the reason why it even exists Well, I think this kind of thing is like a political tool as well. I think. Because I have never seen like I know premiums tend to be windy, but I've genuinely never seen a premium that is like this windy to this extent. It just looks really suspicious, when it comes to like the whole political side of things. Quote unquote trying to appease the Tengah residents. And in case you guys aren't really familiar with like premium bus services in general, you can just look at LCS 1 and LCS 2, but more of like LCS 1 in this context because LCS 1 is the one that winds. Then what else can I remember? 531 is actually kind of straightforward. 545 doesn't really wind a lot. 550 actually winds quite a bit. 555, I have never taken it before, but it's kind of straightforward. 560, it just goes for maximum coverage inside 92's northwestern looping point, but that's okay. That's only because it needs maximum catchment. 565, because of the way the roads are configured in St. Mike's, 565 has like no choice but to just follow whatever existing trunk service there is in St. Mike's. And St. Mike's, despite being boxed in, it's one of the exceptions whereby the buses there are all trunk routes except 21X, which is technically a trunk, but then the distance wise it's like comparable to a feeder. That's all I can say. 570 is actually very straightforward. It just beelines down Pasir Ris Drive 1, and that's pretty much it. I have done a video and I have filmed 570 before. And yes, all the winding takes place within Changi Business Park because Changi Business Park it's boxed in by PIE ECP, so they have to like wind around in circles, and different premiums, their winding patterns are like different. It's just like how before 1983 Toa Payoh, the way bus services winded, it's like Lorong 2, 1A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 1, 6, and then Brattle Road. It's the same logic. They wind, but then it's like a justified kind of winding at that time. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it. And then the rest I don't really remember because I have never taken any of the DeConti Trans bus services. 591 is actually very straightforward. 592 actually kind of winds a little bit. That's the reason why 592 is a premium and not like 671, a CDS. 591 actually gets the 592 is like meh, that kind of thing. And then 593 is the one that's like kind of a cash cow. You might not be just don't be surprised if you see people actually standing because the bus is like literally full. But yeah, 593, I forgot how much it winds, but yeah, you can watch my video. I have filmed it before. And then 722, the only reason why it winds is because Bukit Panjang is boxed in by Bukit Panjang Road BKPIE. So even 972 winds. So obviously this one is gonna wind. This one, I don't know what's the true starting point. It's not Buangkok Green anymore. They just changed it silently, which is stupid. And then the rest of them, they don't really... 729 is like long distance, but it's not windy. It's just a merger of different premium services into one. It's like a consolidation. So, but 729 is not windy by any means, and so are the rest, I think. 767 doesn't wind. It's just that the connections are unique. 762 doesn't wind. Let's not even talk about this. Like, the driver's a piece of shit. But yeah. Okay, like the reason why I say that is because an LTA auditor, when he was literally doing his job, just trying to audit, the bus driver scolded him from doing his just because he was doing his job. Like the auditor had to take photos, and then the bus driver said no, and then he quarreled with people, and then LTA auditor they ended up like compromising, which is quite stupid. But yeah. So guys, if you are attempting a front view video on 776, don't. They just don't allow it. 753, I don't know, it's okay. My friend has like filmed on it before, but 776 front view is a no-no, cause yeah. So yes, this video is kind of yappy, but again, I just want you guys to understand the difference between CDS, premium, and its purposes. CDS is doorstep. Premium is also doorstep, but you could say that premium is like super doorstep, extra doorstep, like whatever you want to call it. And that alone justifies why premiums have to whine more than CDS. And as I've mentioned, 721, it's overly whiny, even for a premium. But I just hope you guys can understand why 721 even whines in the first, why premium bus services have to whine. And one of the reasons given is because for maximum catchment, especially in like a small area, you want to maximize things. So yeah, that's about it.